It's Monday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima Akasha Zebiri.
Hello, Mariah. Welcome
back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
So tell us now, how has it been?
Yes. It's been 2 weeks off the show, and I wouldn't lie, it wasn't easy. Because I'm happy and thankful that the past, I think this whole journey started, I think, after her birthday, a week or so after her birthday, which was July 6th, the same day as mine. And went on back to back, hospital, testing, checking, is it not? Finally it is, and that whole thing just spiraled downwards. And she really held so strong. She knew she just believed she was going to make this stuff, we prayed, this prayer we prayed. But, things happen, she lived a good life. She was a happy woman, even though, and it's amazing the support I've seen in the last few weeks. I have to thank people. People have called in. They've showed up at the house. They've come to see us. You won't realize how much people value you, your family, until these kind of things happen. People came from near and far, and they've called in. Thank you so much to everybody who has been such a support. I really, really appreciate it. I'll still have time to thank you, but at least for now, I had to just, say thank you. I don't want to mention names because it's...
you cannot run the list. Can you finish the list?
I can't finish the list. You know yourself. Thank you so much.
But we're happy that you're okay.
Thank you. And thank you for holding forward, Obiajilu. High five from afar. Boom! You were fantastic. I heard great reviews. BC was so great. The function was fun. I'm so happy that it went well. God bless you.
Thank you.
So, Akasha Zebere, how are you doing? Anything happening?
Nothing much. Work has really resumed, and I'm a bit overwhelmed. I'm tired even this morning. Family, work, dragging left, right, and center. I took my mom back. She left the house yesterday on Saturday.
Interesting.
I told her to visit another child so that I'm not looking like
the only person. Yeah.
She started saying, I spent 2 months. I said, Mom, it's not up to 2 months. I have dates. But I miss her already. Seriously, I do. But she helped me with a part of my children, which is their solat that I've not been able to be available to do myself. So I miss her already.
That's fantastic.
Love her.
Good to have mothers around. Trust me. How are you doing, BC?
I'm doing great. I
like the hair.
Thank you.
Very corporate, classy.
It's my wedding anniversary this month.
Ooh,
this month, on the 18th, to be precise. And I'm getting ready. I want to do something.
10 years, 20
romantic. 13 years.
Oh, wow. You're not a small beginning in this matter.
You're a veteran.
You don't reach.
So I'm trying to just, work out something. We need time together. The kids are just everywhere. Nobody has time for... we need time. And I used to beg my little daughter, please, can you sleep in your room? Mommy and Daddy need. I said, no, Mommy, don't worry. I'll sleep at the end. I said, you can't be in my room. We need time. I am a married woman, for Christ's sake. Leave my space. So I'll find that time, in the course of the anniversary celebration. I see my body's touching from inside. I need this time. I'm complaining now.
How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. It's really lovely to have you back. I'm so happy with, just your overall spirit,
Okay.
We were able to come by to see your family.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by loved ones.
It was so emotional for me that when my brothers saw how things had been, they bought their tickets. They said, you know what, this is not sounding really good. So they all came in immediately. My brother came in a Thursday before, the other one came in Sunday, and Mommy passed on Wednesday. So it was good that we were all around her. In fact, the night before she passed, we didn't sleep. We were with her all through the night, like 4 a.m., praying for her, trusting God, trying to give her that, knowing that, listen, we are all here. We kept mentioning our names. Diko is here, Lai is here, Mariah is here, Shani is here, Shegun is here, just to let her know that we are all around you. It was a good moment, and I think she passed well.
Good way to pass, yes.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, let's start with the nation. Federal government to put wheat on imports restriction list. Wow. Army's Operation Stillwater begins in Lagos and Ogun. Fake soldier held with drugs, ammunition meant for bandits. IPOP threatens month-long sit-at-home in Southeast. Headers attacks Igongon seeks 193 million naira damages. Legal icons Williams, that's the FRA Williams' son. Laddie dies at 74. COVID-19 Nigerian UK scientists set record. Okay, which story? Let's start with the major headline.
Major headline now. So the federal government has they have marked wheat now to be put on the importation of wheat they will remove from those who can receive forex. According to them, 2 billion is spent on importation of wheat annually. And this, of course, disturbs our external reserve, and so our foreign reserves. And so they're thinking of removing wheat. Unfortunately, this is going to affect the lives of poor man because wheat is a major ingredient in production of wheat, of bread.
Yeah, and many other staples.
Many other staples.
But it's not a good thing. So it's going to be, might be cheaper.
Exactly.
Please, they're stopping importing it from abroad.
Government is saying that it's going to put in. So they're saying they're doing alternatives to make sure that we can get local alternatives.
They're looking at, but that's how they did for corn. They're looking at meat boosting our local production.
Yes.
But
do we have enough?
It's not like we have not been planning this local production. But with the insecurity, farmers are still suffering and we still have shortage.
But we have enough.
So we are planning,
let's be sure we have enough before we start
we
banning.
don't have. And the projection of farming it is not it will not work without security being locked down.
It's not even realizable right now.
Let's lock one down first.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, let's move on to the fake soldier.
So a fake soldier was arrested with his suspected accomplice. His name Hayetu Galadima in the Gwagwalada area of Abuja. He says he goes about claiming to be a lance corporal. He was arrested carrying ammunition concealed in water bottles. He had walkie-talkies, about 16 packs. He had 4 army head masks. He had wallet containing army ID cards, wraps of cannabis, and that the way things were packed, it looked like he was transporting it to the northwest, Kaduna especially, because you know that there's the telecommunication ban for some time in Zamfara. And so communications, they're assuming that communications between these bandits is unable to happen. So they're taking these things to them so that they can communicate over that ban that they have put across. Anyways, they have arrested them and proper investigations will go through. We're so happy that,
So,
Igongon community, they have submitted to the Oyo State government a list of properties and vehicles that were destroyed during the June 5 attack. According to them also, 15 residents were killed during the attack by invaders of the town, and the community is seeking 193 million compensation to enable the victims rebuild. I said over 70 properties, houses, shops, filling stations were destroyed during that attack. And what happened was, I said the attack followed a January 7 visit that Igbo visited the Seriki at the time, and he was accusing him of fronting for kidnappers in the town and asked him to leave. And so by the time they went back for that second visit, they used the opportunity to destroy his place so that he runs away. So the community members are now saying that it's a reprisal attack from the Serikis with Fulanis because they hired Fulanis from outside the country to come and destroy that village. So the state government has to pay them back so that their people can survive.
Okay, there was a story I had on Stowaway. So Nigerians are jackpotting, as we know. So it so happened that the Nigerian Navy at the weekend said it arrested 5 suspected stowaways hiding on a Europe-bound vessel, MT Jane. Wow. And this came about 3 weeks after they actually, about 3 weeks ago, they caught about another 4, they apprehended on board another European-bound vessel in Lagos. So these people are coming over from the country and they're hiding the Navy vessels going to Europe. Really, really, really sad. But
that's even dangerous for them.
Dangerous. But for them to keep doing it, it seems like some have been successful.
No, obviously.
They will be. I would think that you never survive a stowaway. How do you enter a vessel?
So they will hide under the where they keep stuff and they come out
army operations,
in the middle of the sea.
Army operations, according to the spokesperson for the Army, Brigadier General Onyema Wachuku, Army will be starting Operation Exercise Stillwater in Lagos and Ogun to ward off insecurity along the waterways. We took that story last week. And also setting other exercises, Operation Golden Dawn and Endurance Peace. Those ones who hold in the southeast and south-south and the north-central. This, of course, is to boost local security. They train them. They call it field training exercise, which is to help their troops understand local internal security.
Okay, moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. A number of boils, Joe Igbokwe's home burnt, DSS office attacked. VAT, 3 northern states to join forces against Lagos and Rivers. COVID-19, FX scarcity, cripple 85,000 MSMEs, says report. Kogi alleges smear campaign plot against Governor Bello. PDP convention showdown looms over zoning. We must work together to salvage our country, says Wike. I think that's the story. Which other story? Where hey, Joe Igbo's house.
Yes, so the special advisor on drainage and water resources to Lagos State Governor Joe Igbo accused IPOB of touching his home in Nnewi, Anambra State. We saw the viral video over the weekend. However, no life was lost. He said he saw through his CCTV the activities of the invaders when they came into the compound. They had jerry cans of petrol being offloaded from their Sienna car, and he was saying that likely they would have razed down his own building at the time of the report. There was also another report that an attack was carried out at DSS office, and the FRSC was set ablaze by gunmen in the state. They came in with guns blazing, shooting sporadically into the air. One person was hit by a stray bullet. That person has been taken to the hospital. But the spokesman of the state police command said it was only one location that was attacked.
In the related story, so that same IPOB was writing, says that they were writing to the global family of indigenous people of Biafra and also to the Oduduwa Republic, according to them, and the Middle Belt, including Igbo and businesses outside the country, asking them to also implement the one-month shutdown in solidarity with their cause and to birth that new nation that they do ask for until the release of Nnamdi Kanu being there. Any other story?
Yes, I have COVID, Forex scarcity affecting MSMEs, that's the micro, small, and medium enterprises. So this report is saying about 85,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises have closed shop between 2020 and 2021 since COVID-19 and the lack of access to foreign exchange. As we know, most of these businesses rely on foreign exchange for trade. And since COVID-19, a lot of restrictions have been put in place, and they say that this has affected our plus our poor economy. It has just affected business throughout, and we know that our SMSEs make up, they say, 95% of our economy, and then we have them in such a situation. They have named some of the issues that has caused this problem. They said lack of foreign exchange, bureaucratic bottlenecks, documentation process takes too long. You are going back and forth. Timing to get forex or funding from banks, and mostly because our banks have not been standardized enough to reach small business owners. And the stakeholders also in the MSMEs are saying that also they are pummeled constantly with different types of taxes, that there are other low-hanging fruit that the government can concentrate on to get taxes so that it can allow for them to flourish and breathe. So this is why we have over 80,000 SMSEs closed as of today. That's a big number.
Yeah, it's huge. VAT, you had that story, Nima? Okay, you don't have that story. Okay. They said the northern states to join forces against Lagos and Rivers. You have that story?
Yes, I have that story. It's just saying that, of course, we know where we are right now. The FIRS, no, VAT now. So we have about three northern states saying that they're going to join the federal government to counter what's right now, from Rivers State and Lagos State. And, well, they have spoken to a spokesperson for the Kaduna State government, says, really, we are not, you already know our position based on what the northern governor said just recently about that. And that is where they are more aligned towards. But if anything changes in the future, they will see a change. But it looks like northern states are joining forces with the federal government on this.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to the point. Certificate scandal. Buhari minister may clash over trial of ex-FIRO DG. National Assembly set to get 200. Let me say that again. National Assembly set to get 2022 budget as federal government allocates 95 billion naira for school feeding program and others. She didn't reveal her marital status. Arrested housewives lover tells Kano Neighborhood Watch. Kogi government exposes smear campaign plot against Governor Bello. Nigeria not reaping benefits of maturity, says Sam Igwu. And Oyo PDP Makinde, author of disputes aggrieved party members allege. Okay, let's start with the human interest story. Who has that? Please.
Okay, so operatives of the Kano Neighborhood Security Watch Group arrested a housewife, Hawa, for allegedly committing adultery. So they were carrying out their, neighborhood watch, and then they saw her cuddled up in a corner with her lover, and then they arrested them. So when they took them into custody, they were questioning them. They realized that she was married, but then she left Maiduguri and came to Kano and was having an affair. But the man now said, no, she did not tell me that she was married, though. I did not see anything. I wasn't told. But they were caught in the act where they were,
It's who goes around catching adults, doing adult stuff.
So they said they are going to continue investigation.
It's a crime.
Yeah.
Under their criminal.
No, what I'm saying is that the fact that two people are together, they're adults doing stuff.
Why
would you?
Public display of affection
In a dark
is illegal.
place was dark.
Okay.
Corner is also.
Because they caught them in a corner or
yes,
they
in a corner. They were in a corner.
Mariam,
I wanted to take the National Assembly.
National Assembly, go ahead, please.
So the president this month, the federal government will be submitting the 2022 budget to the National Assembly, and they've highlighted trying to, this is continuing their records of the early submission of budgets and early passing of budgets for the New Year's. But in that budget, they budgeted 94.62 billion naira for their social investment programs for the 2022 year. And this includes programs like the Homegrown School Feeding Program, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, Empower, and the National Cash Transfer Program. These are programs already that people are requesting be investigated so far and how much monies are spent so that they are not conduit by.
Yeah,
right.
Just in addition, the government is also saying, because they've seen the positive impact, especially of Empower, they're increasing the number of beneficiaries from 500,000 to 1 million. Okay. And they also give us numbers that as of today, they're feeding about 10 million pupils across all public schools in the country. So those are the numbers that they're looking at.
Okay, so the Empower program particularly have more reports, and I'm sure personally would have gotten messages from participants who are claiming to have not been paid and or either disengaged.
But that was a while ago, though.
No, it's been a while, and there have been no reports of no.
But I have had personal. People have come personally to me to say how it has helped them and how they have been paying back also for that.
Okay.
So
So
there are different.
It's on both sides.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard. Alarm as FG chokes private sector out of bond markets. Terror Nowi, 2 dead FRSC DSS officers in Bukwe's house burnt. White Money wins Big Brother Niger Season 6, walks away with 90 million naira. Suspend strike enemy urges resident doctors. Ethnic agitations show Nigeria is no longer working, says NULGE. Release names of Boko Haram sponsors. Kuka tells Buhari. 2023, Northern-Southern PDP stakeholders dig in for presidency. Rotimi Williams' son, Ladi, dies of COVID-19. ASU FG in crucial talks to avert strike. Against UNESCO's recommendation, Nigeria subject budgets 3.6 trillion naira or 53.6 trillion naira for education in 6 years. Okay. Let's take the major headline.
Yes. So the operators within the bond market are complaining, especially private sector. They say that the federal government is overborrowing. They've raised over 4.7 trillion naira from the bond market with the Sukuk, the green bond and Euro bond. And private sector has never, ever beaten this amount. Okay. Even within the year in question, this year that the federal government raised 4.7 trillion, they only raised 802 billion from the market. And they're saying that it's making the market process, especially because the federal government is borrowing without a plan, a clear plan of how it will be paid back. So they don't have a clear revenue plan of how to pay back. But these are private sectors who, when they borrow, they use this, and there's a clear way to generate the funds to pay back.
Okay, let's take ASU.
Yes, so the national leadership of ASU is saying that they are going to be meeting with the federal government this week. They are waiting for government officials to give them the date for the meeting. And they are saying that you see that we have been trying to extend and extend. They had a meeting with them August 2nd, and they gave them till the end of the month to be able to, you know, follow up with the MOU and all the things that they had agreed together that the federal government was going to do for ASU, but till date, nothing has happened. And so they've moved it again and hoping that after this week, ASU may be able to do something. So the payments for the revitalization fund that they requested for, the federal government is still saying that it's between CBN and their bureaucratic bottleneck is not allowing the payment. And so they are not taking that excuse, but they are still waiting and hope Nigerians are seeing that they are meeting the government halfway. Government should do the needful.
People still speaking about Nigeria 61. So the president of the National Union of Local Government Employees, Mr. Olatunji Ambali, was saying at the weekend in Akure that Nigeria is no longer working, and that's why we're seeing lots of ethnic agitations across. He says that he lamented that the country is bedeviled by the abject poverty, joblessness, hopelessness, and threats to nationhood. And that's why we see agitations across the country against this entity called Nigeria. Obviously, something has to be done about it. Something.
That's something.
Okay, let's move on now to Daily Trust. Ghanaians resume hostility against Nigerian traders. Anambra politicians go into hiding as IPOB unleashes terror. Worry over acute shortage of airworthiness inspectors in airports. VAT row, more northern states team up with FIRS. Okay, let's start with the airports. Who has that story?
Yes, so the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, Director General Captain Musa Nuhu is decrying the impact of the shortage of the agency to carry out its surveillance and enforcement duties. So according to them, they are lacking inspectors that are going to be servicing existing airlines and even the upcoming ones. So they said they have 10 scheduled domestic airlines, they have 24 non-scheduled carriers, they have 40 prospective airlines, and because they have a shortage of inspectors, they are not able to work as fast. And there's also a delay of issuance of an air operator certificate for even new airlines. There was a particular airline, Green something, that wanted to start up, and then they announced that they will be starting up in June. They did not get their license till August, and then they had made noise, collected money from customers, and they were not able to go. So they are asking that they need more people. And one of the other problems they have is the people, about the 80 to 100 staff they have are supposed to have retired, but they're still holding on to them and using them as ad hoc staff to be able to train new people that are coming in. So they need hands so that they can. A lot of airlines are coming up right now.
So are there vacancies there for Nigerians to apply? We need to know that. And secondly, I hope those that are available to do the airworthiness, they are checking the planes well, I beg.
Ground operators and air operators.
The major headline, Ghanaians have resumed hostility against Nigerian traders. So many shops were attacked. I think about 3,000 businessmen threatened, about 3 billion possibly lost. Dozens of shops have been locked down, and about 250 shops belonging to Nigerian locked also back in 2019. According to them, they're saying that the laws in Ghana are making it difficult for them to do their businesses. Ghanaians, on the other hand, I think the Secretary General Alpha Shaban was saying, I think he's the head of GUTA, saying that they asked the Nigerian businesses to come together and give them a list, their names, their shops, and the businesses they do. And because they've not been able to come about with this list, that's why those people, the Ghanaians in the community, are attacking them. And they are taking forever, according to him, to come back with this list. So they are asking that they should do the needful in order for this to stop. But however, the federal government is yet to respond because, according to them, they're saying that they're not aware of the recent onslaught. And hopefully, maybe by now, they should be aware. But there's a major row between Nigerian traders and Ghanaian traders, and they're making life really difficult for Nigerians living in Ghana. Wow. There's a lot more to that story, but this is just the summary of what we have in the papers today. Okay, let's move on to our final paper for the day, which is The Guardian. 300,000 shareholders abandon dividends over inflation and red tape. And I have the picture story. Today is World Habitat Day, and I'd like to start with that. That says, but here in Makoko, Lagos, there is scant knowledge and adherence to global best living standards. So obviously, we know that Makoko community is water-based,
Water, yeah.
and but we've seen other water communities around the world that have decent living
tourist
environments.
attractions.
So we can. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to convert this that looks like a slum to something more marketable and tourist-worthy, so that we can begin to make some worthy revenue from this. So World Habitat Day reminds us once again of the work that needs to be done to ensure Makoko community live better, healthier lives. You're going to take the major headline, somebody? Who has that? The red tape. Okay, I thought it was 300,000 stakeholders abandon dividend over inflation red tape. Okay, I guess nobody has that story. All right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'll discuss our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So this morning, we want to analyze the president's speech on Independence Day. So last Friday, our president, Independence Day broadcast, the president said specifically that no government since 1999 has done what they have done in 6 years to put Nigeria back on track. Now, this speech obviously generated mixed reactions across board. Now, the question is, do you agree with the president? Tell us why. If you do, if you disagree, tell us why. I would like to hear from Nigerians this morning on your thoughts on the scorecard of President Muhammad Buhari's administration in the last 6 years. You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also send us messages on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be happy to read your messages. So I read the speech, and I mean, even going by the papers this morning, talking about Empower, a few other interventions that have been done through agriculture. So someone say, okay, yes, technically, it seems that a lot of things have been done. But others are saying, when you talk about health, education, security, economy, these key areas, we don't really see, but others have said that, okay, infrastructure, we see some development in infrastructure. Power, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Someone say we have more electricity now than back then. Jonathan. Yeah, so, but in your view, what do you think, how do you review his speech, number one? And do you think they have actually improved? And should we still give them time? Or we're saying, you know what, they don't even know what they're doing?
Okay, I personally believe that you can define your own success. You can say, I am successful as a single person, based on your own statistics. And you have a right to say, okay, I've done this, I've done that. To me, I am successful. Nima can choose to disagree with me, but it's my own standard because I'm not working for anybody. But when you're working for the public, if you're working in an organization as the boss, the MD, the CEO, you cannot by yourself define your success and say, I've done this, I've done that, I am very successful. You cannot compare. That would be lying to yourself. It is the people that you are serving that will tell you that this and this is how your policies have affected us, and our lives are better than when you came. It is not for you to say. And when it comes to public service, we work with statistics, not about all the programs that you have done, but everything collectively. So, for instance, I went online to get some statistics, and some of these platforms that analyze data compared our gross domestic product from the time of Obasanjo, and they said Obasanjo averagely did 6.95%. Yaradua did 7.98%. So in my head, I was expecting from, okay, somebody started with 6.95, another person 7.98, we should be going higher. Jonathan came and did 4.80%. Averagely percent, and Buhari has given us 0.31%. So when you look at all the programs that they have done, it seems like the president has, like the current administration, has more projects, but the impact, the overall impact, the standard of living has fallen down even more. That means that you have been very busy with activities that have not even paid your people. So you should take a look back and what are we doing wrong in statistics that is making the people not get the benefits of everything that we are pumping in? That's the question you should be asking your people right now, not telling us you are successful because you did several projects.
Okay, Mariam, your thoughts on this?
I've got some data of my own as well, and the 6.9 in 2011 GDP growth rate is one of them. But also, we're talking of a country as of today where 100 million people live, Nigerians are living in poverty. We're talking of our total debt stock of now 33 trillion naira. Inflation, what are we talking about? And then, you know, those are just numbers. Then let's, as you said, let's talk about what people are saying on the streets. How are people, you know, reacting to things that are happening around them? Constantly now, it has become regular everyday conversation with people to hear things are tough. Prices have gone up. Constantly here at this table, we're talking every day about cooking gas going up, prices of cooking gas going up, food going up. So that is the actual picture. That's the reality we have on ground. Comparing himself with past governments, I have a personal philosophy, which is, you know, I compare myself with what I've done before. Have I improved on what I've done before? So for this government, it will be, what were the things that you said you were going to work on, and how have you fared when it comes to that? So you mentioned economy, insecurity, and what's the third one? You know, and almost on all that level, we have seen us struggling. Insecurity, we have children. Corruption, yes, corruption, the third one. We are, this Nigeria as of today, we have children in captivity.
Yeah, till today.
Schools are closed in the north because of insecurity. Farmers cannot go to the farm because of insecurity. So that is the reality on ground. And so for that, just for that, I think that talking about doing better than you know, his predecessors should not even come up right now.
So, Lima, your thoughts on this? I give you more data, because I have a bit more data.
Okay, let me not use data. The president gave us a proper list of things that, you know, every day are announced by the government. That's, I think they just took an inventory of all their programs that they planned, but without, you know, comparing the impact in society. And it will seem like, because they're quick to respond, it will seem like you just hate the president when you sit here and you're telling the president that, you know, these things are not really reflective. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program has been criticized for corruption. Do we have anybody jailed?
Till today.
We had the Safe Schools Initiative program where we had, it was an SSG, the predecessor to the Boss Mustafa, I think, who was indicted in an allegation of about some grass-cutting scandal. Do we have proper investigations? And this is a government that you say your fighting corruption was your main goal. You were supposed to make examples of your closest ally. But now we have the FIRO, that's the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, former boss. And that's the only example that we have. Of course, I want that person prosecuted for what he did. But we have several important that we know would have made...
Remember, Mina ran away, came back.
So the problem for me is you have these laudable plans. When you sit at the FEC meeting, somebody's just reading report. In my own firm, in my own ministry, everybody's just reading report of what they... Have you gone around town to test? When the MD... acting MD came here on Friday when we interviewed him. He said something. He said, I have taken bikes to all the communities that you have in Apapa. And even I living in Apapa could not deny when he was giving me areas and numbers and everything. You know he has a knowledge of the area. That's what we want the president to test. We know you are not too healthy, you are old. But after getting the regular reports from the people around you...
Do you have people on ground you go to go and verify?
Do you have people that you can trust, people that are unknown, that are not important? Unknown people that you can go and say, okay, you are not an important big man name, but how do you see my work?
So, I mean, according to StarTimes, which is a statistics data analysis platform, they also gathered that in the agricultural sector, this government have grown 15% in the past 5 years. And in comparison to other administrations, so according to them, in Obasanjo's administration, it grew about 133%. In Yar'Adua, it was 19%. In Jonathan's time, it was 22%. So they do agree that there were a lot of investment within the agricultural sector, absolutely. But however, the effect and impact of it is yet to be felt amongst the people. So it's one thing to have the paper knowledge or the paper data, or okay, this is what we are doing, we've done this. and we expect this result. Now, have you measured the results? That's what Nigerians are saying this morning.
So this is the family head who takes loan to buy this mug. And hopefully the need for this mug will no longer generate loan. But you did not buy a mug that is durable. You went to buy glass. And then one person now bumps it and excuses cup. But we're still going to pay the money that we used to
so anyhow.
Borrow buy the mug in the first place. That's the most simple, basic example of how this government runs. So we have those laudable projects that loans have grown up to how many thousand? We use our entire revenue, 98% of our entire revenue to service the debts that we're using for all these laudable projects. But generations to come, how would they feel under the weight of these loans when they are paying back? Are we thinking of that? And now the CBN just today puts it under the list. You will know that, of course, they make plans without taking holistic view of how things are. How many farmers can approach farm?
Right now.
You're talking about 2 billion naira intervention that you are going to be saving. This 2 billion, if you have it, we convert it to Nigeria farms. How safe is it to go to farm? Because I'm in the rice sector and I know every month rice increases. Sometimes you buy, you're selling at a loss because the prices keep changing and increasing in the market. And the factors are not beyond security.
But there's a saying that we have to suffer a little. Before we can. No, I mean, according to what we mean, I don't know the saying right now, but the idea is that this is time for us to. They told us already when they came in that you have to tighten your belt. So they know that these times are going to be difficult decisions. There will be some policies that we will have to painstakingly go through. But the assurance from this administration is that we're selling, we're investing the pain now, so that at the end of the day we can reap the benefits. So is that would you say that's what we're going through right now? That we should continue to bear it?
If we were all tightening our belts, it would be easier to bear. If the head of the house says we're going to tighten our belts, so we'll eat head of fish instead of chicken for a few months. Let's see what we can. Let's gather money to be able to buy some blocks so that we'll stop paying this rent we have been paying since. And he's not eating the chicken or turkey. Then the children will be able, and the other members of the family will be able to say, okay, we are all tightening our belts. But it seems like it's just the poor people that are supposed to do this sacrifice. Exactly. I wanted to go there. Healthcare is you can go abroad. Education, all of them are celebrating their children graduating from this university in the UK, that university in the US, and strike. We're still begging ASU. We're still negotiating with ASU. The poor man's child is still likely to be sitting at home anytime soon. What about the National Association of Resident Doctors? We still have that one there. So it's not for you to, say it and feel. I just feel that this is not the time to be comparing. And this administration started from comparison. From the first day they entered seats, they will compare this, they will compare that.
Years.
The last administration, that's Jonathan, was pushed out of office because he could not solve the insecurity problem. Today, the Global Terrorism Index has ranked Nigeria as the third worst nation prone to terrorism with no improvement since 2017. This is not the time to be raising chest and be saying, I've done this, I've done that. We, as a people, need to feel the impact of what you have done. Then we can talk for you.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. But we'll ask, who exactly is Nigeria's best president? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the president's speech on Friday. I mean, in the part of young people, he was saying that young people are our most valuable natural resource at home and abroad. Their ingenuity, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit is evident to all. Many of our young people are excelling in various spheres of life, including sports, entertainment, information, communication. And I'm thinking, oh God, what have you done to exactly support these people? Because, I mean, as you said, Nigerians are doing great things home and abroad. Individually. They have struggled and hustled to get to where they are. But the question is, there's a lot of rhetoric around what can be done, what we're going to do to support them. But it's not specific on what has been done and how we can actually benefit from the resources available in the country. So young people are confused on how do I tap into the, okay, they say we should go to agriculture. Which part of the agriculture? Am I going to go to the farm? Are we giving them? Many also have taken this opportunity, have taken advantage of it, let's be fair.
Yeah, true.
Many young people have taken advantage of the opportunity where they will take the money. Instead of them to use it for what it's supposed to do, they go and spend it.
Else, yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of irresponsible on both sides.
Yes.
So we must also acknowledge that the government have actually made some effort.
Yes.
We also on our part. Are
It's
not the ones
effort. What?
doing-
All the things we reeled out now is effort now. I mean,
Yeah, so let me read.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Let
Results
me
now.
read John Ibino says, insecurity is zero, yes. But corruption, let's not forget that judiciary is separate from executives. You see, earlier in his administration, he tried to arrest those judges that were corrupt. They jailed some people, but we see how lawyers use technicalities to sort themselves out. And he gave example of Ojikano. Yes, economy is very poor. Monetary policy rate is high, so cost of borrowing is very high, and partly because inflation is high. But comparing the economy of Obasanjo Jonathan cannot be fair. Obasanjo Jonathan Yar'Adua enjoyed oil boom. Note, when they came into office, they immediately went into recession due to the looting of the last treasury. Then also there was COVID. Insecurity has doubled the inflation. Farmers cannot go to farm. My take, let the Ministry of Finance tackle some of these issues or CBN address the level of inflation.
Okay, so that's a fair,
That's a fair
account of
But
it.
then, we've never been more divided, in my view, as we are now. We have more calls for agitations, even though they see them as maybe sponsored or whatever. But if you test the pulse around town, people are constantly talking my side, your side, and all of that. Those of us who believe in the one Nigeria are even looked at as strange.
Yes.
And it's not far from the kinds of appointments and nepotism within employment that people see is glaring in your face. When they called out the president for the appointments within his service chiefs and all of that, what he said was that he would not do ethnic appointments over merit. But then, or that he will not take a person across to jump positions when there are seniors in Keda. But we saw that happen within the military. The things that you say with one side of the mouth are countered by your next action constantly. Within parastatals, it's not about merit. Every parastatal is on one side of ethnicity, and it's because you're there.
Let me take this call from Shola. Shola, are you there from Ikorodu?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning to everyone.
Morning, sir.
Yeah. You see, if I'm going to rate president so far in this country, honestly, I'm going to rate Buhari. Buhari is the best president we have ever had in this country. But there are so many challenges Buhari is facing with. Number one, the challenge of corruption. There are so many corrupt people in this country that is not allowing Buhari to have his way. He's facing with corruption, and corruption is fighting back. You know, Muriah said something. She said, without pain, there is no gain. I agree with that. And the Bible says, it said, when the foundation is destroyed, it said, what can the righteous do? The foundation of this country is faulty. And that is what Buhari, the challenges is facing in this country. If Mariam just read out something on the phone right now, I agree with what that person said on that phone. I agree with everything he has said. The Buhari was not given chance by all the corrupt leaders, all the corrupt people in this country to have his way. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shola.
Okay,
when
so I
you
hear
vote
this
where-
conversation.
Okay.
So I hear this conversation constantly, and we've heard it about every president while in power. So every president while in power is always worse than his predecessor, and he's always better than his successor. That's what I've always noticed when we talk about our presidents. But one thing I hear concerning each and every one is, oh, they were surrounded by a cabal, they were surrounded by corrupt people, they were surrounded, but you are the head of government, you know. You are the head, the message I just read is talking about CBN, the Ministry of Finance. Who is the person in charge of getting the Minister of Finance are setting up that cabinet. It is the president. The thing is that in the end, the buck stops at his table. That's the truth.
But recall,
and until, we always ask for a particular type of leader, a leader that from his actions and from his behavior and from his words shows a certain way that he's leaning towards.
Yeah.
And not only in the words, but the action is that when someone falters, it's either that person is made to resign quickly or punished, openly. But when none of that is done, then in the end, it's your fault as well.
To add to that, we saw that when the vice president was holding up forth for our president when he went for another time.
Yes.
Was it how many months he was around for? And we saw, even though there was not much change economically,
we felt
but his
something.
posture, the way he was making sure that once he gets a report, he works on it.
He made a few changes.
Deliberate actions.
Deliberate actions. He did certain moves.
Remember when he asked for the resignation?
With the DSS removal,
Yes.
the DSS head removal that he did. And the president came back and reversed
everything
to reflect ethnicity. Again, I'm saying it boldly
Filtered,
here. He reversed it to reflect ethnicity. You could not even stay or continue certain things because it had been already done. But you had to reverse it until the favors set. There's too much paddy in this government. Let's say it as it is. Okay, now, Abba carries extradition order from a court in America. The least you do is send him to go and clear his name. He gets his own lawyers, he goes there, he defends himself successfully, he gets an acquittal, and he comes back a free man here. But what does he do? He put up a panel. The AG is looking into the matter. Everybody is doing, we are doing review, we are protecting, we are doing review. But there's too much party. Okay, if I have something now, do I go to the president? Do I have people along corridors, help me, cover? Get it.
Right.
Let
me take this call, Yinka.
And you say you're fighting corruption.
Yinka, are you there? Thanks for calling. You're live.
I'm here.
Go ahead, you're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good
Let
morning.
me start from the Abba Kyari issue that your guest is talking about. One of you is talking about that. Please, for God's sake, the people within the government in Nigeria know the best to do about this issue. We're just sidelining, talking our own views. Please, leave it in the corridor of power. Let them do the needful with the American government. Please, for Christ's sake. Now let's go to your question about who is the best president we had from 1999. At the same time, to me, let me throw the line of the two people that have spoken, one online, the other one that you read through. To be honest with you, people are shouting in Nigeria that Buhari government is borrowing money. Tell me, where is the money that the Buhari government wanted to use to do all these laudable projects? PDP has thrown everything away. Look at Alice Madweke. Now she's being given an asylum. Look at the amount of money. She's now preparing to buy an island to herself. Your former petroleum minister, and nobody talks about that. And where do you want this government to get the money to do it? And let me tell you, if we have a problem of saying that there are some people that are sponsoring the mayhem of what is going on in Nigeria, it is so. But the government, because of their secrecy, they cannot let loose the information to the public. And you cannot condemn them for that.
Thank you very much. That's another perspective. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing our president's speech and comparing him to other administration. Our last two callers, interestingly, supported the government and saying that, listen, where would these people get the money from, especially because the previous administration practically stole most of our money. But, if we think about the power sector, for example, we cannot deny, I don't know about your house or your household, but I know in my own house, power has increased and is better than it was back then. I know I use more power now, and it's more stable. At least in a day, I have at least 20 hours minimum.
Wow.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
My own house, 20
You
hours.
increase your own tariff.
Of course, they increase our tariff. You pay now. You pay.
No, you're paying.
Yes, I'm paying. That's the idea. You have to pay. There's no way in the world you won't pay for power.
No, but we are not complaining about paying. Where the government get money from? We had 77 oil firms. We took the story, owing federal government $6-something billion. We did not do everything. And this is the government's 6th year, running 2 more years before they're done, less than 2 years before they're done. And nothing was done to recover that amount. But he mentioned days and his loot. All these monies have been forfeited fully to the federal government. He reached us to the 2-1. We're owing, oil firms are owing us. We're doing per day. We think you come on for this one. AMCON has the ability to recover looted funds. How many have we recovered?
Help the economy.
What's taking time? There's still corruption. That's I voted this government first time, second term. I believed in the Buhari's dream for this country. I love this personality. And when he talks, I listen. So I'm relying on what he said. His promises is what I am relying on. How do I feel today? I don't feel happy. I don't feel that confident in this government. If you say you're working on power, we're paying the tariff. So you've done that. Yes, I took the train. You're doing well. But the loans that we're owing, only the federal government is owing 29.something trillion naira. Only that of the federal government. I've not talked about that of the states. And you're running the government like that, and everybody's saying, is it about the project that you see or the holistic view of everything? All right, there's hardship. Do we want to talk about the dollars? Under this government, the present CBN government continue to bring policies in that seem to be favoring the other countries as against our naira. Things are tough. You go to the market, what is the value of presently? Constantly, under their watch, it kept growing, and now it's almost 600 naira to $1 now. And we want to say, no, you're the best government. You're not considering you can't sit down and on book and paper, on theories, say that you have done well. Right. Okay, let me take this call, then I'll come to BC. I think I have a call. Yakub, are you there?
Yeah,
you're live.
You're
live. Go ahead.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
I think, for me, I'm the one of the supporter of this government. Okay. And then people listening to me this morning will likely thinking, what do I need to say? Well, yes, I support this government. I voted for this government twice, as Sister Nima said. You see, they have done a lot of things. But the reality on the street is that it does not show. It does not tell us that what they are doing is telling us in our family. Why am I saying that? Molayo, what I disagree with this government is this. And then I know every one of us in that studio knows this. The government keeps telling us that they know who the sponsoring of Boko Haram are. And then they will mention their name, they will take them to court, they will prosecute them. Yes, we have not seen none. This morning, Morayo, the government says that there's a middleman that made food production to cost in the market, they bought it and they hold the food. Who are those people? You continue not to mention it to Nigerian citizens. You continue not to let us know who are these people are. Yes, some of the ministers in this government are doing well, especially the former governor of Lagos State, in person of Babajide Raji Fashola. He has done a lot of things. For example, look at the Niger Bridge, look at the Ibadan Expressway. Even though the Ogun State to Lagos State Expressway is still so bad, so they said that if you go to that party, I pray that your car will come back alive. So, but I would say that the government should let us know, apart from this, the insecurity in the north. If the insecurity in the north makes the scarcity of the food, and then this Boko Haram of the thing, we have got to Kano, we have got that. See, the bandits keeping increasing. What are we doing?
Lost that. But thank you, Yakub. I think we got the gist of it. Yes.
So I know that uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Everybody understands that. But if you're seeking for a job, you should have capacity to be able to do the job. And a true leader does not blame people, takes responsibility for everything. So were you expecting that they would have kept money for you? It's a country where, according to you, they have come, they have looted and everything. You will come, sit down and work with what you have. You won't keep referring us to, well, I did not meet money in the account, I did not meet this one, I did not meet that one. That is not how to pull a country together and have... The first thing is, do you even have a vision of where you want to take this country to? In that your vision, what aspects do you want to focus on? It's not enough to do everything, touch here, touch here, touch here, and we're not seeing results. Unfortunately for us, we're in a country where we celebrate effort more than results. You get a mechanic to fix your car, and then he struggles all day blindly, and then he comes back and says, I could not fix it, but you go pay me something. Pay you something for what? We are asking questions now. What is the result when we look at it holistically that we have gotten? We have seen the efforts in different, we can, of course, nobody will like this.
Let me play
the efforts. But holistically, what is the result that we have gotten?
Let me play the devil's advocate.
Have we gone backwards or we have gone forward, considering the population that we now have?
I hear you. Let me play the devil's advocate a bit, because the president is still employing Nigerians. We all have that inherent desire to just destroy things. All of us in Nigeria, we're not fixing our country. Let's be true to ourselves. Each and every one of us have things we're doing to contribute to where we are, to the corruption that we're in. So they want to fight corruption from maybe this from the center. But all of us across what it has become an endemic.
Yeah.
So the point is, he can't do it alone. So if the president says, I want to fight corruption, and all of us are not in agreement with this, he's not going to go far. So where do we begin to take responsibility of what we have done as a people?
But the sincerity, Mariah, the sincerity in his fighting corruption will help us begin to sit up. So not because I know you, I'll do something, you now turn a blind eye. Somebody else who is not close to you will do the same thing and you prosecute the person. People are seeing. Everybody's watching. The world is watching. So if you say, I am fighting corruption, even if the person is from my tribe, this person commits this crime, you people will see the person being prosecuted openly.
Okay,
every other person will sit up. Right. It starts from the head.
Right.
Okay.
Mariam, go ahead.
So you're right, and we've said it many times here about how the responsibility of making sure this country works rests on all of us, our leaders and all of us, the citizens. And you're right, in many ways, in little ways, we have shown that we are just as corrupt as our leaders. And you know, I say it all the time, the leaders come from Nigeria. They were doing the things that we are already doing, and when they went and became leaders, they just continued that behavior. So, but now we're talking about a president who has said, I have done better than the others. So that's why we're talking about this. This is not to castigate or criticize. In fact, one of the positives, as I read today in the paper, is that this administration has consistently, brought the budget for the next year on time, ahead of time. So that is a positive that they can say that they have. And it's an important one, however small it may seem. It is an important one where we would wait years after coming up with supplementary budget and things like that, which does not make sense. So in those little things, it is important, they have done something positive. But honestly, generally, with the way things are looking in our country, things are not working at all.
Let me pause you, Mariam. I'll come back to you, Mariam. Let me take Salah. He's been holding for a while. Okay. I'll come back to you. Salah, are you there? From Abuja. Yeah. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay.
This government has actually done well. But the problem is not with the people that are governing us, but rather with as brilliant as on the table. How many of you of any political party? How well are you important?
Oh, the line is cutting. The line is not very clear, Mr. Salo. It's so hard. because you've been holding for a while. Well, let me let you respond to him. He's saying that we haven't joined any political parties.
Yeah. But that's what we're saying. We're saying that we have a crop of Nigerians where we are social media warriors. We know how to criticize on social media, but when it comes to being on ground, paying, voting, staying there until the votes are counted, and making sure that, we follow the whole process. We don't do that. We're sitting in our homes, we're typing away and criticizing government. I think going forward, when it comes to criticizing an administration, we should also criticize ourselves within the administration. How did we carry ourselves during that administration as well? And I think that we also need to understand that we have responsibility, rights, and power to recall a representative that we think is corrupt, we cannot on one hand be calling them out on social media and then go behind them, go into their offices and be asking them for stipends or more than stipends. And they'll give you contracts to do. You don't do them. Instead, you sort yourselves out with the money and then you come back on a show like this, you sit down here and you call people out. So all of us really were to blame. But I think that there's also a crop of Nigerians, younger ones, who are looking now and trying to make a better decision. Like, where do we go from here? We have thousands of young Nigerians who have registered to vote for the very first time. You know, this year they've turned 18 and they are going to vote. So we need to teach them what is right. For those of us at this table, I'm not a politician by any chance, but I will continue to use my voice, lend my voice where it's necessary.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we take more calls and read some messages from YouTube and Facebook. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been reviewing our president's speech since Friday, and there have been quite a few criticisms, both sides. Both some have supported his administration. But I think what was more interesting is we're also reminded of a few things that he has done. I think it was Barista was reminding us that one of the key flagships of this administration is the financial autonomy for the local government, which we believe is the crux of developments, really. Because when the local government is empowered, they are able to begin to feel the impact of the policies that you're doing from the top. So, but this financial autonomy that we've been experiencing, have we seen the effect? Have the people seen the effect? That's another angle to talk about. And another thing that we're reminded of is the fact that the non-oil sector revenue has also increased compared to previously, where almost over 90% revenue was from only oil. But since he came in, we've had other sectors that are beginning to put revenue for the country. So do you agree? So there is some light at the end of the tunnel, just that we don't see it right now. Do you agree?
So, just as you have mentioned, there are some things that you mention, and when you mention it in paper, just as the president has done, when you mention it in paper and give a broad view, it looks interesting. It's like, you're saying something. It seems hefty. We're talking of the non-oil earnings, revenue that we have been making, and we know a lot of that has come from taxation. Nigerians are groaning. We've just talked about this morning. Over 85,000 MSMEs are groaning, have closed, and are saying that one of the major problems of why they are struggling is that they are overtaxed. Multiple taxations over and over again. Here we sit down, we talk about what's the next way that we can tax Nigerians. So if in one place you have made it easier, you are sort of collecting it in another way through taxation. So that's why we need to look at things in a way as it impacts the community, not just how it looks good on paper. So just look at this. Okay. I know someone who works with the United Nations, and he says that part of his job is to make sure that whatever aids or things come to African countries is to see to the end how it impacts the community. So they go and they vet it. Okay, yes, we have given this, we've paid this amount of money. On paper, it looks fantastic. But then we go to the community. There's supposed to be a borehole. Where's the borehole? Why are people still dying of cholera? Because there's no potable water. Sanitation-wise, things are poor. But where is all the money going to? It has to make an impact on the community. It has to translate to how it affects regular lives and daily lives. You cannot just call things on paper.
But some will
like
argue correctly that Nigeria is one of the countries in the world that don't pay the most, that pays the least taxes. If you go to any part of the world, ordinary commodity, you buy a pair of shoes, the tax you're paying per commodity. In this country, if you try that, NLC will carry placard. So where do we get the money from? We're saying the MSMEs are complaining, but the truth is that there are many people within the informal sector that are not paying taxes. There are many things that are not organized. So the truth is that with the revenue we should generate from taxes, we're not doing it in the country. And we want to be fair to each other. Across the world.
I want to disagree with you.
Please disagree with me, because across the world, there's nothing you do that you don't pay taxes.
It's not about...
See, let me disagree with her quickly with our informal sector not paying taxes. We have said many times that the informal sector pays different sorts of levies. The problem is that government has not found a way to harness the revenue that you can get from this, from the informal sector. constantly we're talking about, we have had people here come and talk to us about how government needs to harness revenue that comes from there, because we have levies, we have taxes, even if they're not paying it formally into, you know, federal government coffers. Somehow it's supposed to end up there, you know. But why is it so impossible for the government to institutionalize interventions in such a way that you can now move these earnings, this funding, this revenue into the proper, you know, government coffers in a way that it will impact Nigerians? I always say that sometimes I find that government seems to keep Nigerians so informal and so subsistent because many people can take advantage of that situation. Look at NPM, Apapa conversation. Up till today, we're unable to stop gridlock in that area. We're constantly talking about Apapa year in, year out. What's that about? Because a group of people have decided that they're going to make sure that you use that place to make money. And yet, government is unable to stop it because they're afraid to name and shame these people. They're afraid to prosecute them. And that is what is reflecting everything that we're doing in Nigeria.
Add to that, Miriam, even if you trace the corruption, you still trace it back to the leaders as well. But I have a message here. Ben Ochuk says, please present us. I have a question that needs urgent answers. What is the vision, mission of a country called Nigeria? What is the age limit a person cannot contest for an election? How do we know a true personality that can rule this country if given a chance? How do we judge their character? That's Ben from Idrishaga.
Let me pause you for a second. I have Michael's been holding for a while. Good morning, Michael. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Morayo and everyone in the studio, I'd like to say that I've been a very strong supporter of Buhari since 2003. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not really impressed with what has happened in the last 6 years, because I supported him expecting certain things to have been done in terms of security, in terms of corruption, and even in terms of the economy. But even though, yes, he has had some sledges along the way, there have also been so many mistakes that have been done. Yes, you are the leader. Yeah, you have appointed people to do certain things, but you are not hold them accountable. The CBN governor takes certain decisions and makes a lot of policies on our currency, and it's affecting us negatively, but you do not hold them accountable. The service chiefs are being appointed to make sure that security is ensured for everyone in the country. But after a year or two, and we are not seeing any results, you don't hold them accountable. What message are you sending to people? What message are you sending to Nigerians? It's like when you do certain things and you don't succeed or you don't have any positive results, you can get away with it. And it goes and all this goes on from the top all the way to the.
So he's talking about accountability across from all levels.
And transparency. So I remember when the president became president and after the long time it took to get his ministers, he retained himself as Minister for Petroleum. And I wanted to defend that to YK. And I was saying that finally sanity will come. They will probe those that collected subsidy that he didn't pay. And someone was saying to me, as long as we are refining outside, and I said, I want to believe that refining outside thing will stop immediately. That I believe that he has a plan because, you know, because of his pedigree being in the petroleum sector. The plan today, the one that is most painful was that they had an arrangement that was announced then by the Minister for State for Petroleum, Kachiku then. They announced an arrangement where our crude will now be the form of exchange and that we will no longer be paying monies for it. And I went back to YK with the noise, hey, you don't know where we are talking about. And she kept saying to me, Nima, calm down on this person. Slow down, we are older than you. Wait and see, but now, I can't even defend that. Because now we are owing more than, we paid much more than that in subsidy. Every time we get a defense, rather than a proper explanation and a plan of how we'll get out of it. Let us know, you say we started about, let us know when we are going to remove this subsidy.
Okay, let me pause you for a second.
What the plan is.
Let me pause you for a second. Let me pause you for a second. The reason I'm pausing is
I know you want to go to the strikes.
No, I'm not going to strike. I want to stay on your point of they didn't give us a plan. If I recall, their plan, part of their plan is to get taxes, right, on the people. They said, we will take on revenue from oil. We know oil is already reducing. So we're going to increase the tax bracket, get people more into taxes. Now, what are we doing as citizens, to ensure that we're paying taxes? Have you taken responsibility?
Are you not paying
Me, I am. Because I'm blue-collar job. I'm talking about there are people out there in that informal sector that we talked about earlier.
Yes, but small job. I've already sent my team number. Let me just finish. You cannot continue to say you want to expand tax nets on poor people alone.
Exactly.
And you're giving waivers.
They've taxed on champagne.
I'm still on this party thing.
They've taxed.
You are giving waivers, import waivers.
By the way, do you know that? By the way, do you know that there's in champagne 300,000?
Who is buying?
You know that because I am planning party now.
You have seen prices.
I'm seeing prices. Winning Modaro. 300,000 champagne. Now I understand why they want to tax champagne.
They should tax champagne.
I'm sure champagne has been taxed a long time ago.
You know, I'm just saying, they're already taxing champagne. We hear it, but it just seems ridiculous. But now that we're planning something, I'm doing champagne, I say, what?
See, the informal people we even talk about are paying taxes. Do you know how many levies
what we have said.
they complain? When we buy even as much as bread in this supermarket, don't you see VAT there?
Every
Who takes the money? We are all paying. Yes. Check your receipts from the malls.
Oh, yeah,
There's VAT.
of course.
Who takes it? Am I the one that's supposed to capture the informal people? Is it not your job? No,
they
do your job.
But they even taxed and levied on different ways before it becomes bread, Seth.
Whatever it is, but I see that one that I pay extra.
Auntie, let me put you on the spot. You sell wig. That's your company. You sell clothes.
Yeah.
How much tax?
So when you're paying your salaries, do you collect taxes?
Collect taxes from
not
where?
the producer.
No, you're supposed to
The
collect.
person producing
Has paid.
paid.
We shipping now.
That's the person
We have paid.
who
We have paid.
who
We pay everything. We pay.
Because many
I
Nigerians
have my
own
tax
companies and they don't pay taxes.
identification number. We pay. We pay taxes. So, see, you see a problem. The informal sector needs to be captured into government coffers. You see that problem. Who is supposed to do the job? Who is supposed to capture them? What have you done? What have you put in place to capture these people? Why are you not liaising
NLC
with...
will carry placards.
No, leave NLC.
No, NLC.
Why are you not liaising with the
ahead.
market women? Why are you not liaising with their chairman,
Okay.
the NURT, to capture it? Is it me that will do it for you?
Let me take this call.
Stores and they collect levies from these women.
And
Let me
they
take
say it's not
Perpetua.
tax.
Perpetua has been holding for a while. Are you there, Perpetua? I'm so sorry. Go ahead. You're live.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Morning.
Murayo, my heart really goes out to you. I'm sorry for what happened.
Thank you.
Quickly, you see this government, you see this government,
Yes.
We're seeing the government.
Now, this government is just a government of budget without project.
Hey.
They keep borrowing money, We don't see them. They are only good. Truly, Buhari has done well only on papers. Nobody is feeling his impact, to be real. And now, back to what Miriam said, staying after the elections to watch your vote count. It's a good thing. Now, during the presidential election, I stayed in my area, Akakota, just for me to see my vote count. Before I knew it, everything scattered. So ran away with the ballot box. They started shooting up and down. So in that case now, would I have stayed? So please, this, to me, in my own opinion, this insurance, people borrowing Nigeria money should just stop borrowing us money. Let us make do with, what we have.
Thank you very much, Perpetua.
Every laudable project that you have, every laudable plan that you have, you sit at fake meetings. Are you measuring how it will translate to better life for the people? Because if you say it at fake meetings, like me bringing a project to Mura that we need to go and do some things now, and I'm not considering where we'll find the money. And when we do find the money, what is it for good or for us to just look big? Are we going to buy the new shoes and everything and say we are big women? But life is really hard. Or is there an impact project that you can do and things will be better?
Nima, should we change this conversation to the local government? Because I think we are going.
No.
Maybe these days we go too high up. Maybe we should start. Maybe when we are talking about government, we should start talking from the grassroots now.
The question was that I'm better than my predecessors.
That's why we are going. The day we ask local government
plus his predecessors till wherever.
Obasanjo.
Before when the nationalists, all of them finished. All of them to the first school. What exactly were their vision? Now we continue to see things go wrong, and our policies continue to favor a dollar. Are we working for the U.S. government as a government? So. Do we have a local currency that we must do something about? It doesn't seem that way to me. You do projects every day. You sit and you come and you say you've not done anything. When cost of living, and as long as you cannot control that, cost of living continues to be hard.
All right. Let me take Mariam.
That cannot be bought. Please.
Mariam, let me let you go in.
Yes, you know one thing, when we talk about predecessors, I just wish that there were things we took from our predecessors and applied it to current times.
You mean the
one thing?
nationalists?
No, I'm talking of administrations, past and present, we would, because of party and things like that, we throw things away and just pick up new things. So we have the Obasanjo government, and many people will tell you that the people that he put together in his cabinet were one of the brightest minds that we have in Nigeria. Yes. And I feel that, and I just hope that going forward, administrations after that will understand that it is important the caliber of people, their experience, their skills that you put together to help you run a government. If that thing was moved from one administration to the next, we would see improvement. You cannot now take that away, and then we have people in cabinet constantly we're asking either for their resignation or what is it that you're doing, when you already had an example, of how it worked when it was working well. So that's one thing I wish we could take away. Another thing, which may be the last thing I say on this topic, is there's one thing about our president, something that sticks out like a sore thumb, is the fact that he still travels abroad for his medicals. You see, I wish he would use his medical and hospital visits as an example of the steps he was taking to, to cut costs or to show that, see, I am in this for all of us. I just wish the president used this opportunity, even if it was to bring some of the specialists to come and visit our hospitals to help, because we do have people who do that, for our regular hospitals. Be in Nigeria, let them come to you if we do not have those specialists. The longer you are in Nigeria, when you see that you understand what the problems are in our local hospitals and our local specialists and our doctors, and you improve on it, and forever it would have been your legacy. That even when this president was ill, he stayed in his country and made sure that, things improved around.
Let me take Ebony. Ebony, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I just want to make it very short. I would say for a fact that I'm in support of Nema, DC, and Miriam on this topic. Whether informal or formal taxes, things we pay. And if you go to a common as apart from even malls and all that, just go to an issue. If you look at your invoice, then it's what taking from there. It's supposed to go somewhere. You see, the government knows and we Nigerians know that we have the survival instinct in us. It's just in this. We don't want to know how much you are telling us to pay for. We are ready to pay for it. If actually you're going to give us value for our money. Everybody is in down situation. Each person has one problem or the other. And you find out when you take stock, you see that people have more problems than they ever even imagined. People are having more problems and difficulties in surviving that they've never had before. That is what government does things, and even in our normal stores and our businesses, you have the complaint boxes, feedback, reviews, and all those things.
All right. Thank you very much, Ebony.
Let me take some tips.
Take your statement.
Emu says, it is universal for human beings not to pay taxes. In the U.S., people do everything to avoid paying taxes, but the government keep coming with policies to make it impossible for people to evade payment of taxes, which is what BC has been saying. Corey says, a leader with interest of the poor at heart. You see elderly citizens dying before their pensions are stolen.
We didn't even talk about
the issues
that. The pension.
And there are many.
Yeah.
Pension.
Even another thing we've not talked about is the fact that in this administration we've seen the worst press freedom. Because I think a lot of people have complained.
Views allowed?
A lot of people have complained that this government has been intolerant for dissenting views. They've been intolerant of a lot of expression of Nigerians. In that, we saw that with Twitter ban. We saw that a lot of arrests of journalists across board. Something we didn't see a lot of in journalism administration. At least during this period, we know we yabbed his administration. But we didn't see any of that. So these are some of the body language of the government that people are, even though they're doing some great work in other sectors like infrastructure, power, it's making it look as though they are insensitive in certain areas. It seems like the government is quite touchy in different areas. Another part of it is we've not seen so much of secessionist calls in the last minute administration. This time around, people are talking about constitutional review, they're talking about restructuring. The voice is getting louder. And it's thinking, okay, so you're doing a lot of policy making in agriculture, but the truth is that there has to be a lot of work on that. However, in fairness to this administration, they had constitutional review where they've taken the senators went around the country to have a public hearing on what do you want us to review, and they've gone back. So we will say that he listened and they're acting.
Petroleum Industry Bill.
Committee.
Yes, the
one on the restructuring.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to give us what restructuring means. The reports came out. What did they do? I think
we're still waiting.
We're still waiting. I think that they just start something to quell the agitations and the noise around it. And then they continue. No,
I think they've given the report. The Constitutional Review report has been submitted to the President.
Financial restructuring that governors have been talking about had to be instituted through the courts. Who sat anywhere to discuss that? Nobody sat anywhere. When they're tired, Wike went to court. Lagos State has joined as parties. Oyo is joining recently, and now we have governors on the. We're now making it region against region.
Governors are all in this together.
Joining the federal government in an action to stop those governors who have decided to
okay, we're going to wrap it up. So let me take this call.
Insecurity, they had to start Amotekun. People had to start to do things by themselves.
Gradually.
Who sat anywhere to review any law?
Hello, good morning, Moyo. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Moyo.
Dr. Moyo, go ahead, please.
Yeah. And by the way, first and foremost, the woman in pink, I've forgotten her name.
Obiajilu.
Her wig is entering my eyes. I love her hair.
Go to BC. Go to her page. She'll hook you up.
Anyway, to the issue. When I'm going to speak in parable this morning, if you're a mother of a home and you cook a food that is really bad, maybe the salt is too much or the condiments are too much, you yourself, and it's making everybody sick. Everybody will be complaining. They'll be saying the same thing. When people are saying the same thing, mommy, the sauce is too much. Mommy, the sauce is too much. There should come a time that you should admit that, me too, I did not do well. Let me make this food to taste better, so that it will be making everybody sick. But when somebody is complaining over the same issue over and over again, then it's time to admit within yourself that, okay, let me change strategy. Let me change approach. What am I doing that is not working? How do I make this thing more effective so that the complaints will reduce? That's how to be an effective leader. It's not just about bragging and boasting. Oh, I did this.
Interesting.
So I feel like
I was going to use that analogy, but go ahead, BC.
So I just feel that the present administration is very good with coming up with lofty plans, but implementation, following through, and evaluation is what they lack. So they put out the plan out there. We hear this is happening, trader money is happening, this is happening, and that's happening. But they don't evaluate and come back to tell us, this is the success level we got in this aspect. These are some of the things we learned that we did not do well. These are some of the things we're going to do better. We don't have that. So evaluation is lacking. And for us to have a proper system of government, we need to learn to take feedback. Another thing I also see that I think the president should work on, and his handlers, is empathy. We don't feel the president is listening to the poor people. We don't feel the president is feeling the pulse of the people on the streets. We don't feel that way. Everything we hear is, I've done this, I've done that, and he comes up with, we must be together, we must be united, as if it's by force, But the president needs to understand that we don't say, come and father all of us, because we are older than us. That's not what we're saying. But there's a way you communicate to the people and make them understand that I feel what you're going through. Show them that you feel what they're going through.
But he went to the Southeast. Remember recently he went to the Southeast.
Hold on. And we are his stance and body language and position is not empathetic. That's the problem. Yes, everybody has complained that the president does not seem like he feels for the people. So show us that you feel more. Probably then we understand why some of the things you're doing is taking time for us to get the impact. Right. And we will be patient with you. But when you give us this order of, I've done that, and we're not seeing the impact, everybody will revolt, everybody will cry, everybody will say things are not working. Right. So try and show us a little empathy.
You have more messages?
I want to say this message, and it's very important to me. Olamide Adela says 80% of world trade is settled in US dollars. Perhaps we should sell oil, which is our own, in Naira. This will create demand for the Naira and make exchange rates more favorable to our country. Every administration, that's why in Nigeria, we cannot even compare all of them fail. Every leader that has continued to play along with this, because Saudi and all of them are doing it in the OPEC system, and just impoverishing their country.
Agreed in OPEC now.
Reducing and wasting the value of their own currencies. I don't know what happened. Explain to us why we've been doing it. When Mr. Boyo used to come here, he would put this analogy and you would think that they're listening. And then they'll go back to status quo. and do the things that will wrongly impoverish our people. Now,
their
Naira
hands
no
are
get
tied.
value. We cannot, let's just say the truth. All of them have converted their assets to dollars. And they're all leaving the country. And you're seeing this. Japa is now the slogan. Everybody wants to join. When you have the largest of your population doing everything possible to stow away, enter ship, do everything, just find your way out of this country to where whatever you earn has commensurate value. People are doing that, and you want to come and say you're the best of leaders.
You know, my aunt was telling me that how she used to laugh at her mom, not her mom. She used to laugh at the TV when she saw pensioners begging on TV, they're carrying placard as a child. What's wrong with this old man? But now she's in her 50s. Wow. She's waiting for her pensions. I mean, she was in her 60s. She's like, Morel, I look back as a child when I see them on NTA. All of them, all these old men rolling on the floor. Now she's a retiree. And now she's thinking like she has not gotten her pension. It's like nothing has improved.
Yeah, that pension story is a sad story. It is a sad story. I cannot believe that we're still doing this till today. You are so right. We grew up just watching people constantly carry placards. And we used to hear all these sad stories then. Oh, this man died on the field while they were carrying placards. This person has not received his pension in many years or his gratuity in so many years. He died in the hospital because he could not even pay for his medical bill. 2021. We're still talking about this. And this is in spite of the fact that we now have the PENCOM and just supposed to be a much more regulated and organized way to collect our pension and pay pensions. The problem really is corruption.
Simple.
And if anyone can solve the corruption, it is all of us.
Yeah.
It is not just the leader at the top. All of us.
Simple. Let me take Mike. Mike, are you there? Oh, we lost that call. So how do you fix corruption? I mean, this is a really difficult question. Because, you see, when power is so far away, you might not, as a people, be able to monitor it. That's why I keep saying the grassroots, the local government. If we know, for example, the local government's job is to clear the gutters, to cover the potholes, to pay teachers, you know, those basic things that local government should be able to do. Maybe we should begin to demand these things of local government gradually to trickle down. And people can see that, listen, this community, even just go chauffeur, for example, and we hold them accountable that, this gutter hasn't been cleared. They didn't empty this trash. The potholes are getting wider. Can they cover it up? All those little things where we make them accountable for what they do. Gradually, people can be, people go down and see that you can actually demand leadership and get what you expect to
so
get.
for me, every leader should take responsibility. So at every level, whether it's the president, it's the vice president, it's the governor, whatever you have been given to do, you need to take responsibility in that space at the same time. So it's not let's wait for the president to do his own while we are waiting for him, because the truth is he's the father. You can't set a rule and you are not seen to be taking that rule, and you expect your children to go ahead and be obeying the rule on your behalf. So everybody needs to do it together. And we also have a responsibility to keep calling them out. So in your local government, your representative, you see that they're not doing something right, we have the responsibility to make noise and shout till they listen and do it. So if we all take that responsibility,
You see, there's something we've not said. There's a phrase we've not used, political will. Because the truth is, because we saw it when the vice president took office, temporarily. Even in Lagos State, when Asiwaju was governor, where he was not getting revenue from the center, political will say, Ashe, you don't want to give me money, no problem, we'll look within.
This must work.
This must work.
That's taking responsibility.
Political will of, okay, you know what, we have to fix this problem regardless. I'm not going to use ethnic what was the word I'm looking for now? We're not going to use ethnicity, ethnic bias to select certain of. You know, you are really, really deliberate about what you're doing. That political will is also missing. They might have the intention, but it's not demonstrated. We don't see it.
Then they shouldn't be leading us in the first place.
You're right. Accountability is good, and that's for me. I feel once we're able to call them out and make sure that they're accountable for everything that they're supposed to, provide. But also, I need to understand the corruption that happens in the judiciary. Because in the end, whatever happens, when you have a grouse, you want to take it to the judiciary. You want your cost, the lawyers, to be able to now take it from there. But everything dies at with the judiciary. I want to ask Nima, what is happening
Backlog.
there? What do we need to do? The lawyers, the judges, the whole judicial system.
They speak English.
The truth is, the lawyers, Yusuf Ali, recently, I took his interview in the papers. Everybody practicing know that our judges are not well remunerated. their entitlements are compared to that of South Africa, dear God, that is our neighbor, is ridiculous. And in a country that wants to fight corruption, the first thing you do is ensure that it doesn't happen.
It's not only them, teachers, everybody. That's the Nigerian factor.
That's the point. But recently, because of the conflicting judgments, a matter that I did, my firm handled, and the matter was taken out of my firm by the client, was recalled to this judge, that the magistrate that initially heard the matter upon our appeal. So these things happen. You know, the judiciary is doing a lot to sanitize itself. A lot of work is happening. But what is exactly the plan? When we talked about autonomy was not just for local governments. It was also for the judiciary. But we had our judiciary workers.
Let me take this call, final caller. Onibi, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I greet everyone in the house. And I want to go to your question. The best president we've had since the United States is Obasanjo. The reason why I have is that he has created Nigeria within that. The Nigerian defense system, the mobile services that they are using to communicate now, in other ones, that's reform. Now going to this
Onibio, it's not very clear. I can't hear. I'm not sure if our viewers can hear you. It's really muffled. But I heard you said Obasanjo. Some have argued that we should have allowed him to take his third term because we've seen. I'm just saying some have argued because we've seen in Rwanda, you know, that where we've seen a president who is trying to make a difference and make, I think, Rwanda the ICT hub, as they said, of Africa. So we're saying, so I'm saying that, so I'm not saying we should, I'm just saying some have argued that maybe if I'd given that man a third term, maybe things would not be where it is today.
We disagree. We disagree.
That was the stain on that.
About our face.
You don't need
We are a country that is so complex that each region has to have its turn.
It's complex. It's that complexity that makes sure that we need more time. You can't fix anything in 8 years.
No, that's not true. I disagree with you. We don't need 12 years or 20 years to fix a problem.
Yes.
You just need to identify the problems you want to fix and follow through in the fixing. And then so all the people who are not helping you fix that problem, you take them out, irrespective of where they come from. See, I don't know how I think. I think results, probably because I'm an entrepreneur. If I have people working for me and they're not helping me get my vision, you go. It's as simple as that. Let us take this governing our country seriously. That's the only way. Singapore did it. They didn't take no prisoners. So you are not there. You are not helping this vision of Nigeria to go forward. We take you out. You go and find somewhere else to be. So let's not use politics and, like you said, paddy, just because we have to stay there and chop this money and enjoy this power. No, we can't make excuses. Excuses is what is killing us. Oh, because I came, there was no money in the coffers. I did this one. I'm struggling. The population has grown. You see population grow. I'm having more children now. And I am thinking of how to consistently expand my resources so I can take care of my children. They are moving to secondary school now. I'm consistently thinking of how I can expand my resources so I can pay their school fees. I won't relax and say, they've entered secondary school now. I did not know they were going to enter secondary school. I don't have anything to do. Let me just manage it. No, I will not take no for an answer. Results is what we need to wrap up.
Final words, Mariam, on this.
Final words is we need to do better. Corruption is really the bane of, our growth here in Nigeria. That is the truth. And I believe that, yes, our leaders are to blame, but we also are to blame. We need to hold ourselves accountable. And I also agree that government needs to be more grassroots-centered. Then we'll have, because in that way, government is closer to the people. And then you're able to call out people who are not doing their job, but we also need a judiciary that works. So that when we have grievances, when something's not working out right, when someone has cheated you, you know where to take them, and that works as well.
You have to wrap up. Nima, your final words on this?
Okay, so just quickly for the judiciary. The judiciary is where it is and is doing what it can. But Nigerians are not patient people, so they don't usually resolve their issues in court. Yes, Nigerians, if a matter is to last maybe in the minimum a year, in Nigeria it might be 3 years. Nigerians, when they finally give you the work, they want miracles. Nobody wants the and so
you're talking like a lawyer, or Nima.
That's the truth.
You're talking like a
lawyer. We have to wrap up now. And I think we've had a 50-50 conversation today. We have callers who have supported, others who have said no, they haven't. So I think from this perspective, the president obviously, people believe that he doesn't have enough resources to do what he needs to be done. Others say, even what you are doing, we don't see the impact and the benefit to the people. Either way, we hope the government will take feedback from Nigerians from this show and begin to ensure that at least by the time we're reviewing again, we have better results to share. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.